Handlebar risers definitely helped. So this 27mm bolt, obviously from the factory, was very tight. So when you're opening it up, make sure the handlebar is all the way to the left so that you avoid contact, any kind of contact in case of a slippage with the screen. And now I've already loosened it up, so I'm gonna try to slowly open it. Once the bolt comes out, you put it aside, and now the real fun starts. I want to make sure that the wheel is straight first. And I stay this way, and then slowly pull it out. It comes out easily. But now the fun part starts, where the screen must be watched. And one more thing is, and let me put some protection over here. I cannot believe I forgot that, because this is gloss black type finish. It won't take much to damage this. Okay, I'm gonna put some more. Okay, so this one seems to have a little bit shorter cables or something, because my GTL, I could just pull it right off. I'm just seeing that if there's anything else I can take out, which will give me some more. These are the 3 bolts. One is right there, 2, 3. These are screws actually, and I think they're probably T25s or T30 maybe. I'll know in a little bit. Let me show you. So a little bit of a challenge over here is with this particular screw, that now the keyless ignition option has this really big relay or something, and the wiring of it is blocking this direct access to this screw. And I don't want to right now play around with it. I don't know if this can be taken out. Seems like it can, but it's not coming out easily, so I'm gonna see if I can try to maneuver a little bit. So let's see. Okay, so for this, I had to take off this clip, which was very difficult, but it came off. I hope it goes in too. I didn't fully destroy it. There's a hole right here, and now I have the room to stick this T30 in there. So now I can open it up. So it's coming off easily now. So I'm gonna take this, and there's a third screw right there that I'm gonna take out. Number 2. So this is the number 2. I got one from here, one from here. Now the center one I'll take out last. This. Right, so now this handlebar will come off like this. You can put it on the side, and this is where the risers will go. So let's see if the same risers will fit. Nuts that came with the risers will go and attach this whole piece with the handle to the base. Okay, now this is the riser, and these big holes will go onto this bar's extension or bar handle, right? And once you put them on, then these 3 screws will go onto the actual base of the bar. And let's just do it. So the factory screws that are T30s, right, these will go over here and attach this this bar, let's do it right now. But I'm gonna put some Loctite on it, like just like that, right? So let's just put some Loctite real quick. Oops. I knew I was gonna drop it and I moved at the right time. Just make sure you don't force the threads. Otherwise, once they're gone, then it becomes a big issue. And it should be a relatively quick thing. You just have to be mindful of the surfaces. And I've done that before. That they get scratched up and damaged quite easily. So that's the tough part. I still can't take the bike out because of the weather. That's quite frustrating. I do need to get a torque wrench because with these bolts and nuts and screws in BMWs, you really want to be specific and very accurate. Ah, shoot, that's what I didn't want to do. I hope I did not ruin this. Now we're going to attach it to this piece. Right here, actually screws, with these screws that came with it. Okay, so this third one, as you can see in the back, is a little bit of a challenge. This one, it is going, but very, very stubborn. Okay. Okay, so these two have been tightened. The third one that is right there will be next. I mean, I haven't fully tightened it up until I put in the third one as well. So on the first two, I was able to use the ratchet, but over here I had to use this wrench, ring or open, because of the space issue. There's a slot where the wiring will go back in, and that's why. So I just want to be done with this one. Okay, that's good enough. All right, so this side is done. That's how it comes in between the base and the bar. Okay, so you see these bolts. I had to, for the first time, take off all the components of this bar because there was one bolt over here that was stripped towards the end. That stripped my driver for the T30 as well. And then these two were stripped because of that. And it took me hours of trying, and then eventually I had to be mindful of that I don't damage anything around. And finally I was able to get them out. I'm going to replace those with the same kind of screw, but not use T30 Torx. Instead, I'm going to use these hex or screws, excuse me. So now just about to put that together. And to take off the handlebar, these are it's upside down right now, but these are the two connectors that that have locks. Once you release the locks, you'll be able to get them out. But you have to be mindful because these locks are plastic and the brackets are plastic, so you can easily break them. Hopefully now it'll go fast and I can finally put this together. Hello everybody. So today, it's the first time I'm taking it out, even though roads are still with... Here, finally I got a chance to start the bike and take it out. Ever since I got it, it's been parked in the garage, and the main thing I was really excited about is the reverse gear. In this, it's very easy to operate. You just put it in neutral and then press the R button, and then just push down on the starter button. The bike starts moving backwards. It is so useful, but one of the features that I never thought I would need on a bike. And it is one of those features that once you have it, you probably don't want to let go of it. And it becomes that much more important, specifically in incline or decline situations. As I mentioned over here, as you can see, there's an incline towards the back of the bike. And usually I would take out the bike in a way that I don't have to really push it up. But today I just didn't have to worry about it because I had the reverse gear. And again, the operation is very simple. And it was easily operated, and I was able to be on my way without any hassle. And this is where this bike shines, that once you start riding it, even though I've had the K1600 GTL for a while, but there is a marked difference in the overall riding experience between the first generation and this one. This is, I would say, technically a third generation. But going back to the handlebars, after this handlebar riser change, this bike has transformed. Even though it is a relaxed position as it is as a touring bike, but the handlebar risers just give you that much more additional extra leverage that is missing from this GT model, because the handlebars compared to the GTL are a little bit forward, and with these handlebar risers and the higher seat that this GT has, it's a near perfect riding position for a touring bike. Now I gotta do long rides to really test it, but this little ride that I did, it just gave me a good impression overall. And the comfort, the handling, specifically the leverage that it provides, and the riding position, your arms are a little bit bent, and they're in a very comfortable position. The height is perfect, at least for someone like my height, about 6 feet tall. And that's where I personally think that handlebar risers are a must for me, regardless of which bike I've ridden so far. That little bit extra that they provide, it just makes a hell of a difference in overall daily riding, and especially if you are into longer rides. Going back to the bike itself, like I said, this is to me technically a third generation, because the first one was from 2011 to 2018, and then from 2018 to 2021 they made minor tweaks, and in this one they have made some major tweaks from headlights, new front fairing, new dash, infotainment, as well as the connected apps. Keyless ride was also offered in the 2017 plus models, but over here it just also adds a lot of other electronics in there, such as the dynamic suspension, which is previously it was also electronically controlled, but you had to choose the mode where you want it to be, whether normal, sport, or comfort. In this, it just automatically adjusts and gives you the option to manually adjust as well. So it's like my XR or the GS 1300, where you just put it in dynamic mode and then you don't have to worry about it. By the dynamic mode, they had two versions of it. One is just for the engine and torque distribution and throttle control, as well as the suspension dynamic mode, which I'm talking about right now, which is auto adjusting in this as well. And that makes a big difference. So overall, even for a touring bike, a sport touring category bike specifically, if you apply these handlebar risers, they do make that little bit of extra difference, especially someone who has some back issues and wants a little bit more comfortable riding position. It is a must update or modification in my book. Having said that, this overall feels very different than what I had, and not to mention the quick shifter that they have added. This quick shifter is one of the best next to the XR. At some point it feels almost electronic, and in most cases I've heard that people complain about first to second shift, but trust me, compared to the GS quick shifter, this feels like an electric one, where sometimes you don't even feel that it's shifted. And it is a acquired taste. A lot of people like that positive engagement in every shift, especially if you're used to riding big V-twin baggers. You might want to get used to it first before actually making a comment or forming an opinion on it. However, for me, I think it just enhances the overall riding experience. I also feel that the wind protection on this one is a lot better, but this is where I don't understand that overall, yes, this has a much bigger windshield. The wind protection around the legs because of the fairing is much better. But if you ask me, the wind protection that the R1300 GS provides, it's phenomenal. I think that has, with little screen that it's mounted on it, better overall highway wind protection than even this GT. But other than that, I think as a touring bike, this rates higher than that GS. Nevertheless, it's an acquired taste, and this V6, inline six engine is just something to be experienced. The smoothness that it provides, you must have seen already a lot of reviews, so I'm not going to waste my time on that. But overall, this bike is a top ranked bike. I just don't know why the resale value is not holding up. Maybe they made too many of them. And the B version also I test rode recently. That really surprised me as well. Even with the lower suspension from the back, it still handled pretty good. But however, the high speed stability, I still think the GT and the GTL are the best variants to go. But regardless of the variant, whichever K1600 you choose, it will surprise you in more ways than you think, and it'll definitely more than satisfy any touring needs. Plus the gas tank, it's a 7-gallon gas tank with the decent gas mileage. I mean, a lot of people complain about the gas mileage that eats up. Yeah, you're going to push it, you're going to pay for it. But overall, it does easily do 40 miles and above on highways, maybe hit 45 at some point. So again, it's an acquired taste. You have to learn how to ride it. I saw one of the reviews where the reviewer was just astonished with the lack of performance, and he kept saying that it's not fast enough, and he was riding it like a V-twin bagger, and that's not what this bike is for. Once the torque starts coming in, this bike can really put a lot of sports bikes to shame as far as the acceleration is concerned in straight lines specifically. And it handles like a sport bike too, a heavier sport bike. It handles much better than the sport touring versions such as the FJR and Kawasaki Concours and other bikes in that category. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon.